Hello all. Welcome to Data Analytics with Python provided by Python Academy. This is the first session where we are going to talk about an introductory part to know about what is the course is, what are the different things we are going to consider in that. Specifically, it will have a definition of what data analytics is, what is the Python, why Python is so popular, and we are going to learn through Python, and the course details, the syllabus. So that is the way we are going to conduct this introductory session. And as the start of this session, you will see as the first slide where you will have some kind of laptop, a graph, a pie chart, a statistics. So basically, when you talk about data analytics, it is a combination of all this. It may be figure out that you may be good at one point and not at other, but we have to develop it all as goal. So all these thing has to be developed with step by step process, which we are going to learn in this introductory session. The session, this one, the next, and the next three sessions has been provided as a demo session for you. So you can go through at it any time, and then you can decide to go ahead with our course as online as offline as per your requirement. So let's start our course and let's have the detail. So basically, data analytics with Python is the course which we conduct at our academy. In that, what is data analytics is and what is Python is the part we are going to discuss in today's session. Before jumping into this, let's have some definition which comes from some surveys magazine which talked about this. So data analyst is the best job of 21st century. Everyone knows, coming from Harvard Business Review, a global data science market to reach nearly 122 billion in revenue. So that is very high, and that is because each and every industry now want to jump into data analytics. They will have at least an Excel to maintain some of the data they have, and that is a very good thing. It is not a very complicated database they have, but yes, these are the small things they have. The US alone could face a shortage of nearly 1.4 to 1.9 million data analysts by 2019, which will increase by 20 and 21. And obviously, most of the models which works here in India are on offshore on-site model. So if US has so high requirement, obviously the same thing will happen in India or the second tier countries where the offshore on-site market works, and that means there will be lot of job opportunity here also, and that is a very good sign that if we learn at this point the data analytics with Python, it is a future which will be bright for you. So there is a serious shortage of data analysts, and this is a major concern for top MNCs, the MNCs, multinational companies around the world. All this means the major corporations are ready to pay top dollar salaries for professional with the right data science skill, right data analytics skill. Right means everything you should know from begin to end. Yes, it cannot be achieved within a 2 days or 2 months or 2 years also. It is a continuous process, but you can start with. Currently in the US, the rate is nearly $150 per hour for a perfect data analyst or a perfect data scientist, and that is a very good thing. So if you compare same thing with the less experience, it may be reduced but not very much. So you are going to fall in a very good range of the salary. So that is also a plus point to start with. The second thing which I got, which shows that it is not only us, that is the computer science or IT, each domain can participate in the talent of data analytics or the data science. So yes, 34% is occupied by computer science student, but we have the 27% of professional in the fields other than IT. We have the business intelligence professional, we have students in other disciplines, and even others which are from some art commerce background or even something different. Why? Because each and every field, maybe it is an industry, maybe it's in a medical, maybe it is in space, everyone have to have the data they have, maybe image format, maybe a video format, maybe data which is collected, and they want to do analyze. So domain expert who knows about that, a chemical engineer or a person works in medical field, a doctor who knows the disease, who knows how to operate on that, but need to operate on the images. So every person can learn this skill and be a good data analytics of the future. So that is also the best thing which will happen. So let us see what is the definition of data analytics is. A very simple definition. Data analytics is the process of finding information from data to make a decision and subsequently act on it. So definition looks very simple, very easy. Let's have a detail on that, what it exactly means. So for this purpose, let us have an example. Suppose a restaurant or a hotel is there which is providing a food. Now this restaurant or a hotel, if have something like they are collecting the data in maybe an Excel sheet, or they may have a software they are using, there may be any case, but this data is collected which can have what things, multiple columns like customer name, what is the product they are purchasing, or what is the item they are eating, what time they are coming, is it is a lunch, dinner, or breakfast, what are the count, how many persons do they come, 2 persons, 3 persons, what was the day, it is a Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So all this data is collected, and since we are a data analytics, that person will hand over that data to us saying, you analyze and tell me what should I do so that I can increase my revenue. Obviously, sorry, for the restaurant owner that will be the case. So now how we can look at that? So looking at the definition, it is process of finding information from data. So what kind of information we can draw from that data which is coming from restaurant? A simple thing is which customer is regular, visits within a week, within a month, then which atom is popular, which is more sold, which is not, then which day we are more crowded, which day we are deserted, there may be a which time is the lunch time, is the dinner time. So many information I can draw from what, the same thing what we have is the data, maybe a simple Excel or a database. So this kind of information we can draw from that, and then we have to make a decision on that. So that decision making comes under the different phases like machine learning and that, where we will try to predict and then we come up with the decision. So decision can be anything. If one atom is popular, let's have some additional atom with 25% discount. If one customer is regular, let's have a coupon to him. So if he comes with if he or she comes with a 2 3 more person, let's combine them and have a reduction of the bill. If my restaurant is popular for dinner time, let's have something on lunch time. So like a buffet, you pay some 500 bucks and you can eat whatever you want. So different things can be thought out on the basis of data provided. The third thing which comes into the picture is subsequently make a act on it. So how we can act? It is not a single process, it is a combined process where the hotel owner, he or she who owns the hotel, ourselves as a data analyst which provided this data, and the decision has to be made. And again that decision cannot be forever. So like for restaurant example, if we say let's provide some discount on an additional item, we may say let's 30% discount for 3 months only. Let's generate the data again, and that data again feedback to us. So we need to analyze it again and come up with yes, this one is good or not. Now this process shows that each domain or each problem statement will have different duration to apply. So for restaurant, it is 3 months for fine. If it is stock market, the share prices, it may be 3 minutes because within a minute the game changes. If it is a weather forecasting, it may be 3 years. We don't know how, what kind of data we are analyzing. So it depends on problem to problem. But yes, it cannot be applied forever. It has to be applied for some time being, and once it is checked and if the output is coming good, then it can be continued, and again we have to go back with some new problem statement. So the process of data analytics is continuous. You can see we are doing the stuff again and again, and that is a good thing. If you are a data analytics and company, you are going to be a forever there, because every time something new happens and you will have something new thing to go ahead. So that is the best thing. So that is the data analytics. Now, basically, why this data analytics need has increased so rapidly in the current scenario? What are the things happening behind that? So, the first one is generation of large data from business transaction. Yes, not only business transactions, social media, or some other transaction, payment transaction, all things are generated digitally, and it is stored at somewhere, server or somewhere. So the data is very huge. Now we are getting a lot of internet with a very low cost. So all of them are want to use internet, and the data is increasing rapidly. The second thing is availability of large data storage system at lower cost. That is the second good thing. Like when we were on the college, like I was in the college, that time we have to use some floppy disk which was of 144 MB, and there we have to put our program and then submit it to our professor. He or she will check and will provide the marks accordingly. Now that is not the case. 1.44 MB, we will ignore that file. That is the case. Now we have a even if you buy a laptop or desktop or even mobile, your memory is too high, 64 GB, 1 T or 2 T. That is the huge size and at the lower cost. That is the best thing. Means it is not I am paying very high for that higher storage. The cost is lower, and that's why the second thing of need of data analytics is increased. The third thing which you can see is availability of better tools and technology. What that means? Up till now, tools and technologies are there. They were used by the programmers, developer, but all things boils down to one thing called RAM. So that RAM size also rapidly increase now. Now you comes with the laptops of say 32 GB, 16 GB, 64 GB of RAM, and the RAM increases means what? Lot of data I can put at one time and I can process it, and that is the best thing. So that's why the technology also has increased. So the increase of data storage, availability of internet, and easiness of using this made this process very good, and that's why the data analytics need is in boom. Everyone want to use the data analytics, and that is the best thing. This is just an example I have taken from Walmart. Again, it is Walmart in US, which works with the something similar to we can say the Big Bazaar or something in India. So the data they are generating is very huge, and it is not very small data. They will just keep it. Yes, they have the data. No, that is not the thing. So generation of large amount of data from business transaction. So data is generated, analyzed, and learning from the data is used in the decision making and process optimization. So that is data harnessing. So the companies store each piece of information generated during the business operation and customer interaction. Everything, every small thing, what you talk, what you purchase, video captures, what are the frames generated, what you are looking at, everything is captured. So looking at the Walmart, it has nearly 4 billion of transaction every year. Again, it is a US data only related to that. There are nearly 900 stores in US, and number of SKUs is nearly 10 to 1 lakh. That is each product with unique number. So if you look at the data which they are generating, it is going from 1.2 to 2.4 to 5 trillion GB. So data is very huge. They want to utilize it in any extent, and that happens. You get some coupons, you get some calls, you get some offers on the basis of your likes. Okay, not a random guess, and that is the way the analysis is done. So that is just for the example. So in basic, the analytics areas has been divided into three parts. Talking about that is computer science, IT, maths and statistics, and then domain business knowledge. Now it depends on how you look at that. So the analytics area overview, if you are very good at computer science, it depends on problem to problem and company to company. Suppose it is a startup company, it may be the thing all these three categories has to be boiled down in a single person or two-person. But if it is a big person, big company works with the different domains, you may have separate teams to work with. I can tell you one of the example that one of the company is there which work for the insurance claiming to the damage to the vehicle. Now this field they are putting in AI with different computer vision things. So now they don't have any programmer or only programmers I can say who knows the Python and all stuff. But they have the team which are some insurance agents or insurance manager or some retired person from there. Why that is the need? Because their expertise will be utilized for these claims, because there may be a wrong claim, there may be a wrong thing happening. So all these thing happens and that has to be avoided. So the expertise is needed. Suppose it is an example of bank. So on bank also you have some expert from bank domain. It is a hotel management person should be there. So it may be a teams of different things working together, and that happens most of the time when the project which you are working on is huge and have a bigger domain. So basically the key types of analytics which jumps from one to one, it starts with the first thing called the descriptive analytics. What do you mean by that? The descriptive analytics is what has happened in the past. So looking at to our restaurant example, what has happened in the past? the same thing, what the information we have drawn. This customer is regular, this atom is famous, this day we have the more crowd, this time maybe a lunch dinner we have a more person. So these are the things we will draw from the whatever data provided. Now this thing is called the descriptive analytics. Okay, so the descriptive analytics is actually a phase 2 of our course also, where we are going to use multiple packages like NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn to analyze the data in hand. Once we analyze the data in hand, we jump on to the second case, and that is predictive analytics. So what is the predictive analytics is? So what will happen in the future? After getting the data, we try to predict what will happen in the future. So that can be anything. Is this atom going to be popular next? It is not. If it is a customer, still it's connected with our restaurant or not. So many things. And here actual machine learning parts comes. Again, machine learning is nothing but the algorithm. So we are also having a phase 3 where this kind of algorithms will be studied. The third part which comes into the picture is prescriptive analytics. So what do you mean by prescriptive analytics? Advice on possible outcome. So in general, who provide the prescription? Doctor saying you take this medicine, you may get cure. So the same thing we have to provide to the owner or the client to say that this were the data which we have, this is the analysis we have performed, this is the output we may predict, and to avoid that or to increase that, these are the steps you follow. And once it is followed, again as I said, can be followed for 3 minutes, can be followed for 3 months, can be followed for 3 years, the output or the data is again generated. That data again will be combined and given to you, saying you go and analyze it. So it is a descriptive analytic. So the process is continuous. Okay, so it is not stopping anywhere and the process will continue. So these are the basics 3 steps which is generally performed when you go for a data analytics. It is descriptive analytics, predictive analytics, and then prescriptive analytics. Always remember these 3 steps. As an example, I have added some of the example which always you see as a movie you can stream on a Netflix or Amazon Prime. You see 1 or 2 movies, and after some days you get the preference in back saying you watch this movie also, you watch this show also, you will like it. How? By connecting the genre of that. So you like this, these are the emotional, horror, romance, what are the types in that, and then connected what other movies are there, let's attach to there. The second example of predictive is, suppose a grocery cashier no hand over the coupons you might actually use, and that is a very good case defined in the book called "It Happened in India" by the Kishore Biani, owner of the Big Bazaar of the Future Group. So he has suggested there a very good small story saying there was a person who always comes to their store and buy a T-shirt within a month or within a 2 months. He never goes to any other store, or not the store, other sections, and he comes back. So once they analyze this kind of data, next time when that person purchase a t-shirt, they provided them a coupon saying next time you purchase a t-shirt, you will have 50% discount on a coffee mug. So the coffee mug is totally out of that section. It is in another section. But since that person got a coupon, that person went to that section. He or he may not buy it. That is a different thing. But at least the vision which was on one section has been moved to another section. So this is the way of analyzing and predicting the person's capability to buy one more thing. And that happens. As a third example, the prescriptive analytics. Like suppose today, if I want to book a ticket from say city in Mumbai in India to a Delhi, I will search multiple websites, and there are so many like Make My Trip, Go Bibo, and so many are there. They will provide different prices. If I close that thing and come up 2 3 days after and search anything, not this also, you will see on left and right side the pop-up of advertising prices has been dropped from Mumbai to Delhi. That means you are continuously tracked, you are tracking, and they are continuously prescribing you use this. So all this kind of analytics works everywhere. You have to just figure out where it is working and how it is working. So that is the way, like a Neo in the Matrix movie, you have to see the binary codes coming out of that, and that is the way the data analytics work, and that is good. The next thing, after talking about the data analytics, why we are going to learn Python? What is so popular about the Python? So it is Guido van Rossum who has the creator of the Python language, and Python is the old language. It is not a recently, but because of recent advanced in its libraries, which can be easily deployed, it has such a boom. So Python is an experiment in how much freedom programmers need. So every time developer programmers need freedom, but how much? It has to be limited. Too much freedom and nobody can read another's code. Too little freedom and expressiveness is in danger. So the Python sits in between. It is not at a very high level of syntax, which can be complicated. I can say for C, C++, or it is not a very simple syntax. Just you write two lines and it is done. So Python sits in between, and that is a very good thing. The general thing about Python, it is all-purpose general language that works on multiple platforms. So you write a single program .py file, it will work on your Mac, Windows, Linux, any version, any flavors, and that is a very good thing. And it is a general purpose. It is an high level and easy to learn. So the basic good thing about Python, it is very easy. Nowadays, in 11 12 standards also we have the Python as one of the subject, and that is the good thing. Even UK, US, they are also focusing students to learn the Python as the beginning, because Python should be learned as a start point for programming, and that should happen in engineering colleges also rather than starting with C, because the syntax is the problem where people get frightened and then they keep saying no, programming is not for me. Should not be the case. So Python should be there. And the best thing is more commonly used for machine learning and predictive modeling. So that is the best thing why the Python got so much boom. So basically what is the machine learning is? It is nothing but the using of algorithms to get the prediction. So machine learning phase, why it is used like that? Like we, when we were a child and suppose there is some candle and our mother will tell don't go, don't touch there. And as a curiosity, we may go there and touch there, and what we get is a burn. So once we get the burn, we will keep in our mind, that is the learning process, that next time I should not go there. And exactly same thing happened with the machine learning or the algorithm learns themselves from whatever the input they get. And then the predictive modeling, where the prediction happens, and it happens everywhere. There are so many common things, like suppose you went to some new office, there are many persons who are unknown to you, and after some days when you interact, when you exchange their mobile number, your Facebook will start popping their name saying this may be your friend, this may be your friend. How Facebook know how you have moved to new office? Because it is continuously monitored, it is continuously predicted by looking at your number. And that happens because when you install any app, it asks multiple questions, that allow this thing for the name reading, SMS reading, and without looking at that, we just say allow without looking at it. And that is the why all the data is captured. So in this whole world, everything is public, nothing is private. Okay, so don't be say that I have some private stuff. No, everything is out. The next thing is it is an open source and free to learn and use more commonly by the developer, and that is the best thing. Open source, no licensing. You just go to website. We will have in the second part of this where we will actually install this. So you just go to website, install, and Python is in your hand. And best thing is free to learn. Nothing is there, and very big developer groups are available where you can learn about this language. This is I got from tech notification. Again, it is changing every day, but this is from the focus of data analytics, where Python is booming rapidly. So it is going step by step up to have more and more advantage of the packages available. That doesn't means that the other languages C, Java are bad. They are not bad, they are good for the development of the softwares. From data analytics point of view, Python is good. I can write machine learning algorithms in Java also, but it will be complicated to know to write, whereas in Python it will be just easy, a single liner, a two liner. And that's why the Python is increasing rapidly. Just for the coding purpose, I have added two codes here, and generally whenever you learn any language, you have to write a hello world program. That is the starting point. So hello world, when I want to write in the Python, it is just print hello world, and the program is printed, hello world is printed. Whereas if I want to go with the Java, it has the public class main, public static void, main string. So these are the syntax they have defined already for their compiler, and you have to learn this first, then only you can understand why you are using. And that's make Java a complicated language to learn. To work, it is very good, but for understanding as a starting point, Python is the best language. So that's why I have added this example. Some other points which need to be discussed. The language continued to rank highly on various lists of the world most popular programming languages. Yes, it is very popular and everyone want to use it now. Many programmers view Python as a language with a clean syntax and expensive library. The syntax is very clean. When we will write our first code, you will find out it is just the tabulation or indentation you put and the code will run. So that the code is always clean. It is not the IDE, that is integrated development environment, to work on that. Automatically it is ready, and that is the best thing. The next thing is the expensive libraries. So many libraries every day, new libraries are coming, tested properly, and you can utilize that. The Python massive user base has created something of positive feedback loop. That also matters. What happens if the anything is open source? There are no support system where you can call and get some help. It is only you search from the net. You put a question on Stack Overflow, Quora, but within a 2-3 hours, definitely you will get an answer if it is very unique. If it is a smaller or a simple question, definitely already it will be posted there. And the best thing about the Python is Google, which uses the programming language in number of applications, a corporate sponsor. So for any programming language to thrive, a corporate sponsor is required. Why .NET is still popular? Because the Microsoft is behind that, Windows is behind that, and this happens if that support is loosened, the language collapse, and that happens like just like our Android app development. For iPhone development or app development, we use generally Objective C, which was the case for say last 5 years or 6 years. But now Apple comes with its own language, Swift, and now everyone is moving to the Swift language. Even client wants their app in the Swift, and that makes what? That makes the Objective C not useful, and there were the persons who are 15 to 20 years experience with that are finding nothing. They are also starting to learn Swift. So as there is a shift of corporate sponsor from the Objective C to Swift, the language collapse. So we can say that Google will survive for next to 15 years, or we don't know. It is a software industry, but yes, currently for next 5 years, yes, Google will stand there, and that means the Python will stand there, and that's why the Google itself providing lot of say seminars, and they are promoting Python language like anything, and that is a good thing. We are learning at this stage. It will be useful for our future. So these are the some of the points of Python. These advantages we already discussed, which are good for that. It is an easy to code, very easy language, free and open source. You just download and utilize it. Expressive allows you to focus on solution rather than on the syntax. So that is the basic thing. So syntax is made very simple. You can utilize very well. It is an high level language, that is no need to remember system architecture independent. And obviously every programming language currently we are working are higher level. So that has to be there. The best thing is portable. That means one code runs anywhere. There is no changes you are required. The language is interpreted. So as I said, for software development, Java is good, whereas Python is slow. For data analytics, it is a wonderful solution. The basic thing about the Python is it is object oriented, but even if it object oriented, it can be utilized in procedural way also. So both the paradigm of Python can be used for the object oriented or the procedural way, and that is also the good thing. It is extensible. So if you have the some code which is already written in Java, C++ or other language, that can be utilized or interweaved with the proper compiler connection and the libraries available in Python, and can be utilized. So no need to overwrite the whole code to just change to Python. You just figure out what are the things to be connected, and you can go ahead. It is embeddable just like the C++. Large standard libraries, which we already said, a lot of libraries are there which has to be worked with the Python. Okay, dynamically typed, and that is the again a new thing and the best thing, that you don't have to declare variables, integer I, string j, or say character or float. You just use I is equal to 20, I becomes an integer. You use I is equal to single quote Anup, I become a string data type, and that is called dynamically typed. In a single session, each variable can have a different types at the same time, and that is a very good thing. It may be problematic for the persons who are coming from statically typed language, but for a new person, dynamically typed is a asset. You can utilize it. GUI programming is also provided using TK Star. and good fit for data science, ML and AI. And that is the main thing why Python has been used so popularly, so easily. So the packages which we are going to see while working on our course are the Matplotlib, Pandas, NumPy, SciPy. So these are some of the packages. Many other sklearn and others we will see in the syllabus are useful. But that is not the limitation. The sky is very big. You can just roam around with the Python. You have so many things to work on. So along with that, you can use the Scrappy or the Beautiful Soup for web scraping. You can use Pillow. You can use OpenCV for image processing. You can use Flask, Pyramid, Django framework to analyze the web application, or you can use PyGTK, Pygame for the game application. So you have so many things in Python available as an libraries which you can utilize and start using that. So that is also the best thing to learn the Python at this stage. These are different applications which we are already talking about, how different Python application we can utilize, like include the web or internet development, AI, obviously that is the main focus currently in the industry, science, numerical application, machine learning, desktop GUI, data science, database access, even for network programming. Network X is a very good package. You can utilize the all proxy server setting and all things for that purpose. Software development application is also there in Python. You can create the games. Computer vision comes under the image processing and web scraping. So there are so many platforms available which can be used with the Python, which can be a base on Python, and that is the best thing. As an data analyst, what will be the general phase you are going to cover when you be hired in any company? And again, it is a general. This 5 step may take 5 days, 5 months, or 5 years also. It depends on problem in hand. So as a first step, identify the data sources and automate the collection. Because where we are going to get that data? Is that an Excel sheet? Like for the restaurant example, is that an Excel sheet? Is that a database because they have the software, or they have the receipt which has to be converted first into an Excel sheet? So many things are there, and that may not be only thing. If there are some apps available like the Zomato is there, Food Panda is there in India, so that kind of app which provides different reviews from other person who purchase them online, so that also will be useful to understand what is the need of that restaurant or what are the feedbacks they are getting. So all this kind of data has to be collected regularly or maybe at a one go as a batch, and then pre-process the data and analyze it to discover trend. And that is the main thing what happens. Okay, so when you start the pre-processing, that is the 80% of time you consume there. So 80% of time will be used for the pre-processing of data to make it useful for the prediction, because prediction are nothing but the algorithms which will utilize this data for their purpose. So that is the way you have to understand how I can pre-process the data, and it has lot many things. Like as an example, I can show the restaurant example. If there is one row which say amount is missing there, so the billing amount can be adjusted by looking at the items purchase or the generalized other things related to how many persons, what was the day, what was the time, and we can come up with that amount. So that is called the pre-processing, and there are many things we can do ahead. Once we do that, design the predictive models and machine learning algorithm. The next phase comes, which is the prediction. I need to predict it, what we can do ahead with that. And we have to perform the data visualization, and that is also important steps in data analytics. So some of the person with good designing skills, good way to represent the data, they are also hired in the company, so that is also a good point to add. So if you have that ability, you have an added advantage, because you can display with proper coloring, follow proper shapes, proper graph the need. Okay, so that is also required. And then propose the solution to the business challenge. So after looking at whole of this thing, I will propose something saying yes, this has to be happened. Okay, again it is depend on the client or the owner of that restaurant or anything to adjust it or to go ahead with. That is a separate thing. But these are the generalized 5 steps one should follow when you go into the industry as a start point. These are the multiple companies currently working with the Python or using Python in there. Obviously, Google, as I said, a corporate sponsor, but there is PayPal, MoneyPal, Dropbox, Netflix. Everyone is using Python as their backend because of the uses of that. Even you can see the NASA, the other central intelligence agencies, they are also using the Python for their analyzing, and lot of good examples currently you can see in the market. This is the survey by the experience how the salary growth is there. So if you start with 0 to 3 years, it is nearly 4 to 6 lakhs per annum. Again, it is from India in metro cities like Mumbai, Pune or Hyderabad, Delhi. Okay, it may be slightly reduced for the smaller two tier cities, and but still, if you compare the rise of the salaries as per your experience is very huge compared to the other fields like an Android developer or rather than a web developer. The rise is very high, and that is a very good thing. Within a few years, you can just jump in step by step to have a very good package, heavy package in your hand, and that is also the good thing which is happening. Now coming up to our Python Academy, which is based in Nagpur with three locations classroom in Nagpur, Hyderabad and Raipur. So we provide specifically three kinds of modes to choose from. The first one is obviously the classroom delivery, where the training by the expert faculty with industry credentials at our Python Academy Center. So specifically at Academy, we provide an excellent training for all of you. It is a one-to-one communication, and then we have to go step by step. It is a 2 hour daily sessions which we provide, which you can get it. The second thing which provide is an online delivery, but it is an interactive, means it is a live instructor lead virtual classes. So where a person like me or our trainer will be present, and there will be a daily classes of 2 hours to conduct all these things along with the other things which are there, which we will see in the syllabus. The third thing which can be useful for the persons who are busy or don't get a particular time is an self-paced instructor video. So we have recorded all these videos. Out of that, 3 videos including this are free. You can utilize this, you can see this anytime. After that, once you confirm your once you confirm with us, we will have other videos to you as a private video. All of these things are recorded on YouTube, so any person who is from classroom online or self-paced will see these YouTube videos for lifetime. Okay, so that is the facility we have provided. You have to just subscribe to our channel Anup Kelkar's Python Academy, and then you can utilize it. So that is the way we have adjusted three kinds of modes. So you can have the classroom, you can have a one-to-one interaction in online delivery where the class will be conducted virtually, or self-paced where all the course has been provided in a YouTube video. You go on one by one as at your space, but still at that point a Skype account is provided where you can interact and can have a different answer and question with the expert. So all these things are provided in our Python Academy course. Now talking about the syllabus which we are going to conduct is a pro degree program, which we call it, for the data analytics with Python. So it has been divided into 4 phases, where starting with the first phase is Python environment setup and essential, where we will talk about what is Python, how to use that Python to our PCs or the laptops, so the environment setup, and then the essential parts of Python as a programming language. So it will be different things we will see in the next slide itself. Then comes the data analytics, where, as I said, we fall into the descriptive analytics, where multiple packages we will learn. The third step is the advanced data science concept, where we talk about the machine learning and other stuff which we will see. And as the fourth is the elective part. Out of 5 electives, you can select any one of them, and the job readiness program. So whole and soul is the program which we have designed for you. It is a very good program, nearly 80 hours of program from the teaching point of view, and then there are other things which has been added. So full-fledged program for the understanding of you has been done. So the first phase, which I have said, is the Python environment and setup. We go with the introduction of Python environment setup, operators and control structure, data types in Python. So you can see all these things: writing object oriented programming, connecting with database, file handling, exception handling. All these things has to be known beforehand, so that you will have an idea how the Python programming language works. Again, all of this session will be totally hands on, so you have to write it, you have to run it, then only you proceed to the next step, and step by step, with every achievement of a single student, we are going for the next step. So once you are done with this, totally acquainted with Python as a programming language, you jump on to the second phase, that is the data analytics. So, and that is basically the pre-processing cycle, where we are going to learn about the NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn, multiple libraries with some of the data manipulation. So that is the data manipulation, data cleaning, data wrangling, data plotting, aggregation. So many things comes combined with some credit risk analysis case study, and before that two more case studies are there. So that is the whole and phase 2, which will make you sure you understand how I can do the data analytics with Python, with the packages of Python. That will be the second step. As a third step, we go on for the advanced version, where we will learn the machine learning algorithms, specifically 8 algorithms we learn. Again, that is not in mathematical detail, how to deploy it on our sklearn library. So that will be a focus, so it will be easy for you to understand. If you go for the mathematical background, that is a separate thing that can be applied or can be provided separately, but not in this course. Along with this sklearn, we provide an introductory part of R programming also, because most of the industry are working with R and Python both as an R starting point and then jumping for the Python. So that thing is also provided, which you can utilize for your purpose. Along with some good things like a Twitter API integration, MongoDB integration has been provided. So that is the third phase. We will come up with the programming of our data analytics with Python. The fourth phase which we jump on is the elective part. So we have some elective like NLP, natural language processing, R programming in advance, deep learning, Django Flask web framework, and IoT applications with Raspberry Pi. So these are the things has been provided. Specifically, Raspberry Pi has to be done in classroom only because it is a kit you have to use. But all these are available as an elective. Any one of them you can select. If you want to select more than that, that is also appreciated, but has to be paid in separate. So these electives as a phase 4 is also provided. Along with this, some of the programs are common for all, which includes industry expert interaction and seminar in between. So there will be some seminar for all of you. You can join in. There will be a 2 months of internship included. So that can be an offline or online depending on where you reside. So you can come up to the classroom, then it will be offline. If you cannot, online it will be done, and a specific certificate from Springboard company will be given to you for the internship. Multiple tasks, and then once the task is completed, a project related stuff will be provided to you. So that will be included in this case of course. Also, we have the mock job interview and written test, so that you should be totally prepared for the future game. So all these things has been added along with 1 year of job assistantship. We have now multiple calls coming in for our academy to have a student, maybe a fresher experience, and we are providing our students who are completing this course. So all these things are provided with all the phases as I discussed. So that is the part of introductory sections which we are talking about. So basically data analysis is the future, which we can see how we can divide that. So if you are ready, do connect with us on our website www.pythonacademy.in, on our YouTube channel Anup Kelkar's Python Academy, or do contact with the number which is provided here 85302 Do connect with us, have your queries, we will just sort it out, and once it is done, do ride in into this future of data analytics. Thank you and best of luck.